This was never about the money, man. It was about us against the system, showing that you can remake movies and make them really shitty. Today we're talking about Point Break, the remake. Now let me tell you something before we dive into my review for this. I'm very passionate about the movie Point Break. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people could say that in their life. And in all honesty, when it comes to the movie Point Break, it's in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. It's just one of those movies that defined me as a person. You got Johnny Utah, the guy who wants to do right, then you got Bodhi, the anti-hero. You combine the two and there's like this symbolism that goes back and forth. I live my life by that. I am an FBI agent. So a few years ago when they announced that they were remaking Point Break, one of my favorite movies of all time, I was actually excited for that. Now, I knew deep down inside it wouldn't be better than the original, but at least it could maybe be a really cool action movie if they cast good actors. And then I watched the trailer for the Point Break remake, and I was just like, what is this sterile abomination where they went in and ripped everything that made the original so good right out of this one, and we're like, here you go, guys. Name recognition. Yeah, you guys like action movies? Have you heard of Point Break? Well, guess what? We remade it. And we made it sterile, cold, and soulless. Now come watch it. It sucks, but we want you to come watch it. It's back here. Yeah, go in that dark room over there. It's right there. Now let's very quickly talk about the 2 lead actors in the upcoming Point Break remake, and I don't care to look up their names, nor did I care to write them down, because I don't give a shit about these 2 guys. Judging by their performance in just this trailer, which by the way, people always give me shit for reviewing trailers. Let me tell you something about trailers. Trailers are 2 minutes that are supposed to sell you on a movie. Even if that movie sucks, that trailer should be amazing and fantastic. And if a studio can't put together a good trailer, and the trailer itself looks like pure shit, well, what do you think that's going to say about the rest of that 2-hour movie? Now back to my point, the 2 lead actors in this upcoming remake, they both look really bland, very cold, very sterile, and they both look like they belong on soap opera TV at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You know those kind of TV shows only like your grandmother watches? You know, like you go over there and like you have to help your grandma carry the groceries in, so you grab the gallon of milk and you feel all strong carrying it in. And she's like, oh, Johnny, you're so strong. Here's some licorice. And it expired in 1987. And then you look over the TV and she's watching soap opera. That's where these 2 guys would be on there. Like, that was a very long point. Yeah, suffice it to say, I'm not a fan of either one of these guys. I've never really seen them in anything besides the Point Break trailer, and judging by their line delivery and the looks that they give, I'm just like, I don't want to look at these guys for 2 hours. They don't have any charisma. They're not charismatic whatsoever. You know, take Keanu Reeves. He was the perfect Johnny Utah. You take Patrick the Swayze, that's what I call him. Rest in peace, Patrick. I'll see you one day, this side or the other. But either way, yeah, Patrick Swayze was the perfect incarnation for the character of Bodhi. When I look at these 2 new actors playing the same characters in the upcoming remake, well, my first thought is when I look at Johnny Utah, the guy playing him, I'm just like, that guy looks like someone you see at Comic-Con pretending to be Thor, and you're just like, stop, take off the tinfoil hat, I don't like you. And then you have the other guy playing Bodhi, and I just don't feel like I really need to say anything. I feel like if you're a fan of the original movie and you expected something, well, this isn't something. This is nothing. And by the way, the original role of this was supposed to go to actor Gerard Butler, but even he dropped out of this movie. Have you seen some of the shit Gerard Butler will do nowadays? What does that tell you about this movie? Okay, let me quickly break down this trailer. When the trailer opens up, I had some hope for it. The cinematography looks really well done. It looks really epic. It looks well filmed. And you have this plane flying through, then you have these guys jumping out of it, and the cash is falling, and they're trying to grab after it. It's almost like symbolism for what this movie's all about. Cash grab. Get it? And judging by those really quick clips that we got early on in the trailer, I was like, okay, well, this could be an okay heist movie. And then we get to the scene where Johnny Utah speaks for the first time. And this is what he says. I believe the people behind these robberies are extreme athletes, like me. Okay, let's break that down just for a second. In the trailer, they're snowboarding, they're skydiving, they're riding dirt bikes. Well, I guess it's safe to assume that maybe they are extreme athletes with all the outrageous shit that they're doing. It just seems obvious, Johnny Utah. I thought you were a detective. And plus, just the way that this guy delivers his lines, he's like a mannequin. And Keanu Reeves was kind of like a mannequin, but a likable mannequin. Now let's keep breaking down the trailer in the next several shots where you see some action sequences. By the way, everything in this movie looks like it was shot on a gloomy, cold, rainy day. it just makes me tired and slightly depressed. I almost feel like I need to take a Xanax to watch the rest of the trailer. Now let's talk about the finale to this trailer. You have both characters standing on a cliff, and you have Johnny Utah looking over a boatie before they jump off the cliff. It's very reminiscent to the original movie, where Johnny Utah jumps out of the plane without a parachute. Badass scene, really awesome. I'm hoping this wingsuit sequence could be really cool, but overall this trailer just looks like a demo reel for extreme action sports. It doesn't look like a movie, it doesn't look like a Point Break remake, it just looks like almost a commercial for GoPro cameras or something. Now, a few seconds ago I complained about one line given in this movie, but this next line given pretty much sums up how soulless this movie is going to be. Now here's what I'm talking about. You have both characters confronting each other, and Johnny Utah looks over a boatie and he's like, you know how many laws you broke? You know how many people you've killed? And that right there sums up the character of Bodhi in this upcoming remake. This new incarnation of Bodhi is going to be a cold-hearted serial killer who's just out to murder people and rob shit. And that right there just makes the character unlikable. Because in the original, Patrick Swayze, who played the character of Bodhi, was a likable bad guy. He was an anti-hero in a lot of ways. He was just one guy who wanted to live an endless summer. He didn't like violence. He just had to do what had to be done to keep surfing and living the dream. I guess I'm just disappointed. The best thing I can say about this Point Break remake is the original will always exist. It's back there on my shelf on Blu-ray, and you know what? I almost want to pop it in to wash the sour flavor out of my mouth after watching this shitty remake trailer. This trailer was sterile, it was cold, it lost all heart, it lost everything that made the original good, and this is just looks like an abomination. Yeah, it's got some good cinematography, and you know what? This movie could almost be called anything else besides Point Break. It could have been called generic heist movie. And you know what? I'm going to call this movie Pointless Break, because it is a pointless remake. Had they made a remake or made a trailer that at least looked good or exciting and had some characteristics of the first movie, I'd be like, yeah, that could be an okay, cool movie. And by the way, the new Point Break remake opens up on Christmas Day alongside Star Wars. I wouldn't say that was the smartest thing to ever do, but you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking they're hoping that all the theaters that sell out showing Star Wars, everyone who's disappointed or waiting for the next showtime to happen, they're gonna be like, well, what do we do? Well, let's go watch Point Break, I guess, because Star Wars is all sold out. That is the only way this movie's going to make any money. So yeah, I think the new trailer for Point Break looks atrocious, to say the least. It's a huge letdown. Now here's my question to you guys, and let me know down below, what do you think about the new Point Break trailer? And if you did like it, my question to you is, have you seen the original? Please watch it. Great movie. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out my last movie review. I'll see you guys next time.